You scroll past your birthday notification like it's a spam email. No plans, no celebration, just another Tuesday. And when someone asks what you're doing for your birthday, you shrug and say, nothing. It's not a big deal. But here's the thing. You refresh your phone more than usual that day. You notice who remembers, who doesn't. You tell yourself you don't care, but you're counting, you're waiting. And by the end of the day, there's this quiet heaviness you can't name. Or maybe you genuinely feel lighter, free, like you've opted out of a performance you never signed up for. So let me ask you, what's really behind treating your birthday like it's invisible? You probably tell yourself it's because you're mature. Birthdays are for kids. You're not into the attention. You don't need external validation. You're low maintenance, independent, evolved beyond needing a day just for you. And for some of you, that's genuinely true. You've reached a place where your self-worth isn't tied to a date on the calendar. You don't need the world to pause and applaud you. You're content, grounded, present. But for others, that explanation is hiding something. Downplaying your birthday isn't neutrality. It's a defense mechanism. Because if you don't celebrate, you can't be disappointed. If you don't expect anything, no one can let you down. You're not avoiding attention. You're avoiding the risk of being let down by the attention you secretly hope for. The digital world complicates this. You see everyone else's curated birthday posts, the surprise parties, the thoughtful gifts, the comment section full of love, and some of you feel genuinely unbothered. But others? You're telling yourself you don't want that, while wondering if anyone would show up like that for you. Let's go deeper, because there are actually two very different psychological profiles here. Profile 1, the authentically detached. You've genuinely deprioritized birthdays, not out of fear, but out of evolved perspective. Research from Dr. Sonia Lyubomirsky on happiness shows that people with high intrinsic motivation and low social comparison tend to find meaning in everyday moments, rather than milestone events. You don't need a birthday to feel special because you've learned to celebrate yourself in small, consistent ways throughout the year. Your brain's default mode, network, the system responsible for self-reflection, is well regulated. You're not seeking external validation because your internal validation system is strong. Birthdays feel performative to you, and opting out is an act of authenticity, not avoidance. This is healthy. This is freedom. Profile 2, the defensive minimizer. But then there's the other side, and this is where it gets uncomfortable. For you, this isn't really about birthdays. It's about worthiness. Somewhere along the way, you learned that needing things made you a burden. That wanting to be celebrated felt selfish. That asking for attention was needy. So you stopped asking. You made yourself small. You became the person who says, I'm fine, don't worry about me. And birthdays? They force the question you've been avoiding your whole life. Do I matter enough to take up space? So you treat it like a normal day, not because you're humble, but because you're scared of the answer. Let's trace both paths back. For the authentically detached, maybe you grew up in a secure environment where love wasn't conditional on performance. Your emotional needs were met consistently, so you didn't develop a scarcity mindset around attention. Psychologist Dr. Mary Ainsworth's attachment research shows that securely attached individuals are comfortable both receiving and declining celebration. They trust that their value doesn't fluctuate based on external recognition. You've internalized what's called intrinsic self-worth. Your brain's reward system activates from internal satisfaction, not external praise. Birthdays feel optional because you don't need them to feel whole. For the defensive minimizer, think about your childhood birthdays. Were they chaotic? Forgotten? Did they become about someone else's stress? Someone else's mood? Did you learn that your special day wasn't actually about you? Or maybe it was celebrated but conditionally. You got the party, but only if you performed gratitude perfectly. Only if you weren't too much. Only if you made everyone else comfortable. Here's what happens neurologically. The brain's ventromedial prefrontal cortex, which governs self-referential thinking, gets shaped by early emotional experiences. If celebrating you consistently came with tension, disappointment, or guilt, your brain encoded birthdays as emotionally unsafe. Dr. Jonas Webb, who studies childhood emotional neglect, calls this emotional invisibility. You learned that your feelings, needs, and milestones didn't warrant space, so you became an expert at not needing anything. 5. Consequence if ignored. If you're in the first group, keep doing what you're doing. Your disinterest in birthdays isn't dysfunction, it's self-awareness. Just make sure you're still allowing yourself moments of joy and celebration in some form. Balance is key, but if you're in the second group, here's what happens if you keep pretending you don't care. You keep living on the edges of your own life. You become the friend everyone forgets to check on because you've trained them that you don't need checking on. You get comfortable being invisible, and then you resent people for not seeing you. Relationships start to feel one-sided. You give, you show up, you remember everyone's birthday, but yours? Crickets. And you tell yourself it's fine, but resentment builds quietly. The scorecard in your mind grows longer. Emotionally, you start feeling chronically undernourished. Not because people don't care, but because you never let them know how. You've made it so easy to overlook you that now, being overlooked feels like proof you were right all along. And the saddest part? You miss out on something deeply human, being celebrated just because you exist. So here's my question for you. Which one are you? Are you genuinely content without the fuss? If so, beautiful, own it. Don't let anyone guilt you into performing celebration you don't want. Or are you hiding, testing people by staying silent? Hoping someone will fight through your "I don't care" to prove you're worth caring about? If it's the second one, try this. What would change if you let one person know your birthday mattered to you this year? Not a party, not a performance. Just one honest moment where you said, "Hey, I'd love to do something small," or "I'd really appreciate it if you remembered." What if you stopped testing people by staying silent and started letting them show up? You're not too old for this. You're not too evolved. You're just scared. And that's okay. But you deserve to be seen. If this made you uncomfortable in a familiar way, you'll probably want to stay. We don't talk about surface behavior here. We decode what people don't notice. Subscribe if you're curious.